Yes.
This is for my back right now because it's super sore because we did 70. I did 70-pound snatches, 70 reps. I had never done that many that heavy before, and I felt really great all the way through. Apparently, my form was not exactly right. Anyway, my back's really sore, so I put it on the chair today. Look at that pillow on the chair. I'm feeling like an old man, but I'm kind of nervous because tomorrow is uh, we're doing ladder snatches. So you start light and you move up the ladder and try and go heavier. It's really a fun workout, but I'm a little scared of it. But that's okay. No pain, no gain. Ooh, it's raining. I have to do my ritual, check the trucks every night and make sure we actually locked it all up, because a couple years ago Jared had a whole bunch of camera stuff walk away one night because he left his van open. So we don't want to have that happen ever. And I usually do this. Oh, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna grab this whiteboard. I mean, it's always better practice to not leave anything in the truck at all, but it's still, I want to go out there and make sure everything's locked up. And yeah, anyway. But hey, I want to talk about this really quick. Something I'm going to talk about for a long time and I always forget to. But I don't know what to call this. Like project management and storage. And I'm not sure what good the whiteboard is going to do for me because I don't know if you can see it. Secondly, I got a new like glass cover on my phone and it looks like it's making the front camera foggy. That kind of sucks. All right, well, really quick. Here's how I have found over the years, at least the current best way to manage data, archive projects, things like that. So obviously it starts, I'm just gonna move this out of the way here. So you start by shooting something, obviously. This is a camera. And you go to some kind of card, right? And that's CFast or SSD. And again, this is like the worst drawing ever, I apologize. Those are your temporary cards, and you offload those onto some kind of hard drive. Be that your laptop, an external hard drive, whatever, to edit your project on. And some people have dedicated SSD. I have a 2 terabyte SSD I stick in my laptop that I'll edit small projects on for speed. Otherwise, I'll just use external drives because a lot of stuff we do, it just takes up a lot of data, right? Because I'm shooting 4K ProRes, 4K RAW, 4K R3D files, etc., just big files. And I'll tend to use either between a 2 and a 4 terabyte drive on every project. Now, if I'm thinking about that workflow, you also have to be thinking about redundancy because these hard drives have a tendency to fail. These cards, the capture media can fail too, but it's not as often because we're switching this out, and these are 99% of the time solid state. The red used to capture to like a hard drive once in a while, but it wasn't very stable and whatnot. But it was always better to record to the red mags. So anyway, how do you manage these hard drives? How do you manage all these projects when you're doing multiple projects a month? Well, here's my current system, and I've gone everywhere from having a mass storage device, like a Drobo, hooked up to like a network, a server, all that stuff, which it can work, especially if you're working with multiple people on in a central site. And we have one of those at the office that whenever we're doing something that's kind of collaborative with the VFX guys, Matt and those guys, we'll all work off of a central server. But a lot of times my projects are much bigger than theirs because they're working off of the VFX, so they're going to pull select shots down, whereas my projects are the entire project, all the footage being worked on. So here's what I do. So I go to the cards, and I've been using SSDs a lot just so that They're easy of use with the client and whatnot. And then a lot of times I'll copy over to a hard drive and leave it on the SSD until I can make a mirrored backup, because there's nothing worse than having created something and the drive having gone down and destroying everything you just did. So I work off of a hard drive. And honestly, right here, I just actually went to Costco. I'll work, and then you lose some speed, like I was saying, off regular hard drives. But here's like when it's not a 30-minute show with multiple camera angles, multi-cam stuff, multiple multi-cam setups and stuff. A 4 terabyte will do just fine. Sometimes a 2 terabyte if it's smaller. So I'll buy one of these for every project at least. Sometimes two if I just want to mirror it directly. Just having this, and I like the small ones that don't require a power supply, because I can go from my laptop to my other laptop to a desktop to the iMac, whatever I need to do, right? Carry it with me, things like that. So I'll just work off of a hard drive. Now, again, you don't want to just be reliant on this. So what I'll do is 4 terabytes. I'll use 2 to 4 terabytes. I'll use one of these. And then at the same time, I'll have a backup drive. And again, just Costco, right? So this would be a 2 to 4 terabyte. And here's my 6 terabyte backup. And this is only, I mean, you could just mirror every project with 2 of these, which would be fine. But I like to sometimes have it be less drives when I'm doing backups, because I can fit multiple projects, 3 2 terabyte projects on here. And that just mirrors anytime I'm working on a project and I get to the end of the day or the end of the week or whatever in time interval I've decided to do, I'll just do a folder sync or whatever it is. And there's some apps out there, I'll show you what I use, they'll just mirror that folder or that drive onto a second drive, so you have these two synced, because you never know when something's going to happen. Now, what I do then is I'll make sure this is labeled as a backup, and I'll put it on a shelf. And then I'll put this on a shelf if it's a project I've been working on for a while ago. This will go on the shelf. Now, how do you go then find projects that you've archived a year ago that the clients come back and say, hey, I want to update this thing? Again, there's some, I didn't find too many, but I found a program that's Mac and PC. I'm trying to think what it's called on the PC. I think it used to be called CD Finder for Windows. It's called something out. It's Abe Media or something. On the Mac, it's called Neo Finder or something. Again, I'll have to look these up for real. But what they do is they sit there, and the cataloging app will sit there and go through my working drive and my backup drive and just catalog everything that's on there, so that if I need to find something, I can do a search. It'll search my entire catalog of hard drives, and I'll know, okay, great. And I name all these ones Shuttlecraft. So this is like Shuttlecraft 12, and I'll know that, oh, XYZ projects on Shuttlecraft 12, I'll go to the shelf, pull it off, there it is, start it up, off I go. And if for some reason this has failed because it's been on the shelf for too long, I go to this guy and pull it back up from there. I'm trying to think, there's something else I was going to say. Oh, a big part of this is your project management, and I've gone all over the universe to figure out and what I've ended up just doing is just a Google Doc. I've done all kinds of like CRM things and some other web-based things, and I used a program called Bento for a long time on the Mac and whatever, and I've just always come back to Google Doc has not changed enough to where it's not supported, or things change, or things are different. My watch is telling me it's time for bed. It really is. So I've set up this pretty detailed spreadsheet for every project that I have. So on the spreadsheet, I know where the project is saved, on what drive, what the project's called, any notes, any feedback, all that stuff, which is super important to have in one place, because otherwise you're going to be totally lost when you come back to a project, even a couple months later. But anyway, I'm sure this is useless, but that's my system currently. I'll do a way better actual video on this instead of just like a journal entry. But basically, working drive, backup drive, they're mirrored. This is a cheap and cost-effective way, instead of worrying about mass storage. Just having lots of mirrored drives on your shelf seems to work okay for me right now. So USB 3, I wish they're all SSDs, but sometimes you can't have everything. Yeah, other than that, today was pretty boring. We just sat around and, sorry, I take it back, not sat around, just did a, pumped out a motion graphics commercial, and went to get a new stereo in the Red Ninja, because the tape deck is broken. You gotta have your travel tunes. Otherwise, it's more posts tomorrow because the shoot got canceled. And when I say the shoot got canceled, it really got canceled. What happened was there's so much stuff going on right now that we couldn't find a makeup artist because we called everybody we knew, and there's about 1,000 projects going on, and the project is cosmetics, so we couldn't fudge it on our own. So we're going to have to reschedule when we have a makeup artist who can actually come. But yeah, Kyle's bringing the truck back tomorrow. His show is over, so we'll get to reassess how the new truck went. And yeah, I think my Astra's coming in a couple days, so that'll be fun. All right, I'm going to upload this to the client. I will see you guys tomorrow morning bright and early.